Live from your local election headquarters at the 22 News Broadcast Center, this is a West Springfield Mayoral Forum. And now, here's Patrick Berry.
Good afternoon and welcome to a special Your Local Election Headquarters presentation on 22 News. I'm Patrick Berry, and this week 22 News will be bringing you a series of forums among candidates running for mayor of local cities. Today we are joined by the candidates running for mayor of West Springfield. Here in the studio we have incumbent Mayor Will Reichelt and his challenger, Town Councilor Dan O'Brien. We begin with opening statements. Each candidate will have 1 minute to deliver his opening statement. By virtue of a drawing, Councilor O'Brien will give the first opening statement. Councilor O'Brien.
Good afternoon. I'd like to first know if the mayor has accepted my challenge to provide $17,000 for the American Legion kitchen so that it can be rehabbed and refurbished before the Veterans Day event, so that on Veterans Day that check can be given to them. My first point would be, my goal is to level fund the 2026 budget so that in 2027 there is no tax increase. Mittenegg School will stay open. It will be repaired and refurbished. West Springfield will continue to have a community, neighborhood-based school system. Each of the schools will be rehabbed and refurnished. I intend to drain money, large money donations from mayoral politics. I don't take a single penny in donations. I think it affects decision making, and I want to show that it can be done without large money donations. I want the Big E to increase its voluntary fund from 1% to 2%, because that money goes to the town and to many needs.
Thank you, Councilor O'Brien. Your time for opening statement is complete. Mayor Will Reichelt, you are next.
Hey, West Side. Will Reichelt here. Happy to talk about our award-winning town. First, I want to say I'm happy to split the cost. I can write a check today after this is done. But I want to address some of those empty promises we just heard. First of all, reducing the budget, level funding the budget next year would mean $6 million out of the budget. It's over 60 positions, teachers, firefighters, police officers, gone, eviscerating our public service. Second, at the same time, repopulating and renovating Mittenegg School would be adding millions of dollars back into the budget. We can't do both. That math doesn't math. And finally, transparency. The other night, Dan said that he would not take the mayoral salary, that it's a privilege to do this job, and I agree. But he hasn't disclosed that he's also getting an $80,000 pension from the police department. 80 plus 130, that's easier math. That'd be $210,000. The highest paid employee in the town of West Springfield, as he said the mayor should be back in 2016.
Mayor Reichelt, your time is up. Thank you both very much for your opening statements. We're now going to move into the question and answer portion of the debate. I will ask a question of each candidate, and they will have 1 minute to respond. In this format, there is no time set aside for rebuttal. We determine the order of questions by a drawing before the forum, and by virtue of that drawing, Mayor Will Reichelt will answer this first question. Mayor Reichelt? One of the more controversial issues in West Springfield has to do with the fate of the town's neighborhood schools. The school committee voted early last year to close the Mittenegg School, but following a backlash from parents, the school has remained open. There is also a plan to consolidate the Fawsey and Ashley schools into a single new building. What do you think is the best path forward for the town's multiple aging elementary schools?
Thanks, Patrick. And I don't like the connotation of backlash. I think it was a lot of community members getting together to talk about and express their desire to keep Mittenegg open. And in reality, West Springfield's at an inflection point, especially when it comes to our schools. We've seen declining enrollment, just like many communities have across not only the region, but across the state. Less people are having kids. We have more space in our schools than we have for students. And we need to look at the aging buildings and make sure the community is involved in that conversation, but at the same time understanding that, and I'm hearing a lot of it on the campaign trail, people don't like their tax bills. And we need to make sure we keep that in mind when we set the budget every year, understanding the fixed costs and how they impact our seniors, our families, making sure it's affordable to stay in West Springfield. And looking at how we fund our schools and what we do with them going forward is a real dollars and cents question that we need to take into account as we work with families to have an open conversation about the future of West Springfield.
Thank you very much. Councilor O'Brien, your same question to you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No, thank you.
Okay.
So that is the issue. It was the issue when 2,700 votes were taken and presented before the mayor, who they then voted to keep the school open and immediately pivoted to building a new school. He neglected to mention that bonding is how these projects are done. He's willing to bond for a new DPW. He's willing to bond for a new police station. He's willing to bond for a new Fozzie school. I'm simply saying I'm going to bond to repair our neighborhood schools because West Springfield is a community built on neighborhood schools. Each neighborhood has its own school, which gives it its own certain type of character. But when the vote came in, he should have immediately pivoted to the parents and to the people who wanted that school to stay open and began this process instead of adding on to the 20+ years that those schools have been neglected. So that will stop with me. I guarantee you that.
Thank you, Councilor O'Brien. This question number 2 is coming right back to you. Continuing with the theme of education, the mayor serves as the chair of the school committee. The most recent school district report card from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education lists West Springfield as making moderate progress toward improvement targets. As mayor for the next 4 years, what would you do to increase student achievement?
The mayor is the head of the school committee because of the wisdom of the people who put the charter together. They wanted the mayor to be in control of the body that spends the most money in town. What has been left out is, as a city councilor, I've sat with 10 budgets and I've seen that the mayor has allowed the school committee to use one-time funds to fund recurring expenses. When the money begins to run out, he then has them come to the city council during the budget cycle and demand that that money that they should not have spent be put into the regular municipal budget, which is what has driven our tax increases, which are approximately 4.5% over the last 5 years, and will continue to drive it unless that practice is stopped. That's what the mayor is in charge of the school committee for, is to keep them within boundaries of spending.
Thank you, Councilor O'Brien. Same question to you, Mayor Reichelt. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Nope, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Patrick. Just want to touch on an earlier question, an earlier answer. Bonding still costs money. We can't bond for things like using your credit card. You can't go to the mall, swipe your credit card, and not pay the bill. So bonding, regardless of what it's used for, still costs the taxpayers money in the future. And just a clarification on the charter, I know it's probably in the weeds, but I am voted every year in January by my other members of the school committee as the chair. The mayor has just, by tradition, always served as chair, but by charter it is a vote. And I think the money we've invested in our schools, while I understand taxes, in the first 6 years we didn't have tax increases. I've talked about this. After COVID, we had challenges that includes healthcare costs, energy, inflation. But the money we've invested in our schools, as Patrick pointed out with that question, has showed that they're improving. Achievement in West Springfield, the dollar for dollar value we get is better than other districts in the region. We are investing wisely, as we see with Memorial School, that just was a school of recognition. Wisely target investments, make the schools better. That's why people move to West Springfield.
Thank you, Mayor Reichelt. This question number 3 comes right back to you. West Springfield is one of several local communities that received money through the state's Casino Mitigation Fund. That fund is now running out, with the money being redirected to the overall state budget. As mayor, how do you plan on adjusting to this loss in funds?
For one, okay, sorry, it was black. For one, we don't use that money from the state's mitigation fund to offset the budget in any way. Those are the good things we get to do with that money. So the Park Street improvements, both the shared use paths, the paving, underground infrastructure, that came from the Casino Mitigation Fund. The Elm Street roundabout, the improvements we made there to beautify our downtown, which I gotta say is incredible and has come a long way in the past 10 years, that money came from the Casino Mitigation Fund. I'm disappointed that it won't be there anymore because we are a community that through the legislation has been essentially a surrounding community, an impact community. We won't have that money to do the fun things that we get to do to improve the overall look and feel of the community, but it won't negatively impact our budget. I hope that the legislature decides to use that money and divert it to a public safety infrastructure fund. So much like the MSBA, we can help offset the cost of building a new police station and use that revenue to do it. Because us, like many other communities, have struggles when it comes to the overall infrastructure of our public buildings.
Thank you very much. Councilor O'Brien, same question to you. Would you like me to repeat it?
No. Thank you. You're going to bond for the police station. That's bonding. The money that goes to the police station could go to the schools. That's a decision that the mayor can make. The mitigation fund was a gift from MGM. They cause us no issues, no trouble. That's why I want the Big E to increase its fund from 1% to 2%. That will compensate for the loss of the MGM monies. That's money that can go to various causes, and it doesn't impact our budget, but it helps those different issues that need to be done. It's imperative to get the Big E to step up because they do cause us issues with traffic and all kinds of other troubles during their days, and that's not asking a lot after 30 years to go from 1% to 2%.
Thank you very much. We are coming right back to you with question number 4. Property taxes are an issue of concern in every community, and West Springfield is certainly no exception. Do you think there will need to be an increase in property taxes over the next 4 years? Number 1. And number 2, what would you do to balance the town's funding needs while protecting taxpayers?
I can guarantee you there'll be an increase to taxes if Mayor Reichelt is reelected. The problem is with property taxes is you can only put so much on people, and it's not the people who have 2 incomes who are young enough to absorb these things. I always lean towards the people on fixed incomes. Every $100 or $200 you take out of someone with a fixed income, it's gone. They can't do anything to get that money back. That's my focus is as mayor, when you're sitting there working the budget, if you have the focus of looking to get these areas that you can reduce reduced, then you have to have that eye. You have to sit with the fiscal people and work on what the department heads are looking to spend and keep them within lines. It's nice to have things, but there are only so many things that are affordable, seeing that 80% of our budgets are personnel costs. And I don't agree that $6 million is coming out of a level funded budget. That's fear mongering.
Thank you very much, Councilor O'Brien. Mayor Reichelt, same question to you. Do you need me to repeat it?
Nope, I'm good, and I'll just start with that. I'm not sure if Councilor O'Brien understands what the level funded budget would mean, but to make the budget the same this year as it is next year is a reduction of $6 million. And we know from recent news that federal government reducing money that's going to come to Massachusetts is going to make the challenge even more difficult in January. But I'm not going to promise anything as when it comes to what the budget will look like next year. I can say that, as I mentioned earlier, over the first 6 years, we didn't increase taxes. Actually, 1 year in 2019, we did reduce taxes. But then COVID came, and that was increased healthcare costs, inflation. Everything that you've experienced at home in your budget, the town experienced tenfold. We looked for new revenues, we found new revenues, we made sure that new businesses are coming to our downtown to expand it. But at the same time, when Councilor O'Brien says my budget is so terrible, for 10 years he voted in favor of it. At the end of the day, the council voted, and as Dan's a member of the council, voted in favor of my budget year after year. And I do work closely with them, with department heads. We ask for cuts. We do the best we can to provide you the best possible service at an affordable price.
Thank you very much to both of you. We are not done yet. We're only at the halfway point in today's forum. Please stay tuned, everyone, because after the break, we will have more questions and answers from the candidates running for mayor of West Springfield. Welcome back. You are watching a special Your Local Election Headquarters presentation here on 22 News. Today we are joined by the candidates running for mayor of West Springfield. In studio with us today are Mayor Will Reichelt and Town Councilor Dan O'Brien. The next question goes to you, Mayor Reichelt. West Springfield is home to a variety of businesses, from big box stores to the small mom and pop businesses. What do you plan to do over the next 4 years to make existing businesses in town thrive, and what can be done to attract new businesses to your city?
Well, for one, we're going to keep making it a place that people want to come to. We're lucky, being the crossroads of New England, we have 90, 91, Memorial, Riverdale, a lot of access to a lot of business. And as I mentioned earlier, creating the downtown as the way we did made it a new destination for both business and residents and people from outside the community to come as well. What we did in the downtown, we want to do much the same on Memorial as that project finishes, redoing an entirely new road. The same on Main and Union. That really is our next opportunity to revamp, revitalize. There's some great businesses that are down there, but there's also some areas of opportunity that we can improve and attract more people to come into West Springfield. One thing obviously we need to always do is make sure we're providing a great quality of life, making sure businesses have a reason to come be in West Springfield. And that goes with the Rita Rave's 3 times award of being the best town to live in. Locating your business in a place where people want to be ensures you get a great workforce, great schools, and an affordable community that they can open up in and they can thrive in.
Thank you very much. Councilor O'Brien, your question.
West Springfield is an enviable place to do business. Location, people, the businesses look at the bottom line as well. We have a tax shift, which means, thank God for our businesses. 96% of them are small businesses. The Costco's and the Home Depots make up for a very small percentage. They burden more than half of the tax bill. If we did not have that tax shift, the homeowners would be in dire straits and the businesses would be flocking to West Springfield because their tax rate would be $21 on the thousand. So everything that can be done to lower the budget and lower that tax rate that they're taxed at helps businesses. The goal is to get that budget under control and make it so that these businesses can bottom line themselves into West Springfield.
Thank you very much. Sixth question is coming right back to you. Homelessness has been an issue in several local cities and towns, including West Springfield. Residents have in the past raised concerns about homeless encampments along the Connecticut River. What can be done to address this issue?
My question.
Your question.
Very good question, and we have that issue at the Riverfront Park as we speak. During the past 10 years, there was homeless people that were allowed to erect a home built out of milk crates, visible to the public. There was several camps that were built into the woods, well known that they were there, and nothing was done about it. Those are public properties. Those are just like any other park in town. You do not have the right to build a structure there. You can't build a structure there, and therefore after night, at dusk, you are trespassing. So no one's going to go use the Riverfront Park as long as it feels unsafe. And it feels unsafe if there's a milk crate house there and people are yelling and screaming at you to get out of their land, which they basically said they own the place, get out of here. So that's what the police are for. That's what local ordinances are for, but they need to be enforced. I would be down there myself walking every day, checking it out, and making sure those things are removed. The people that live there, if they need services, they'll get the services.
Thank you, Councilor. Mayor, your question.
Thank you, Patrick. We had that issue down the Riverwalk, and I do acknowledge that Councilor O'Brien has been a staunch supporter of making sure that we help those people and move them out of our property. And it just has been a challenge, and we see it as a housing issue across the country. We did hire a homelessness liaison, a social worker to work with people directly in our community that need services. The library, in a lot of ways, has become a hub for people that have those challenges, that need assistance in finding a place to live, that need assistance in finding a job. And I recognize that it was an issue on the Riverwalk. The Riverwalk is a great asset we have here in the community, and making sure that folks have a place to go and investing in our community is an important part of what we're going to do moving forward. But acknowledging that there is this issue. There is a housing issue in West Springfield, much like there is everywhere else. We've worked hard to modernize our ordinances to make sure that while we attract business and make it easier to open a business here as well, we acknowledge that we need to make sure that we're opening houses at the same time, making sure it's able to be built. So I'm looking at proposing an infill housing ordinance to make sure more housing can be built in West Springfield for those that need it.
Thank you very much for coming right back to you, Mr. Mayor. There's an ongoing state-run construction project on Memorial Avenue in your city. There are also other roadway projects in the town. As mayor over the next 4 years, what is your plan for city infrastructure, and how will you keep both town and state-run projects on task?
Absolutely, and it is frustrating when we work with statewide projects that it seems to take so long. But while Memorial Ave, it seems like it's been under construction for a long time. We inherited originally a road that wasn't in the best of condition. My predecessors worked with MGM to get money from them to fund the design of that project, and the state's paying for that $30 million project to get it upgraded and get it in great condition. The Morgan Sullivan Bridge, which happened before Memorial Ave started, was done early. Partly that was through COVID and the state giving them more money. We're trying to work with the state to get them more money for the rest of Memorial Ave too, to make it done faster. But it will be done next year, and it will be a beautiful new addition to the community and help reinvestment into that neighborhood. But understand, infrastructure costs money, so we need to make sure we're able to afford that. And we talk about doing new projects like a new roundabout at Piper and Amostown, another complete street safety project across the community. We need to make sure we have the funding to make it a quality of life issue in West Springfield. And Riverdale is under construction now and should be done in another year. So we have on the cusp of some incredible state roads, and I'll stop using it as an excuse to say it's a state road.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilor O'Brien, your question.
The infrastructure is always a key. Everyone uses the roads, everyone pays taxes, excise tax, and I'm sympathetic to those needs. Just so that they understand, the difficulties in the older sections of town are you can't pave a road until you've put in brand new infrastructure under the road. Those pipes are sometimes 100 years old, and you have to fix those things. Every year, there is a capital budget that includes paving, sidewalks, etc. That's all part of budgeting. And a priority list is established, and those are the things that we try to get done so that the residents enjoy their roads and their sidewalks, and that they're not inconvenienced by continuous construction. But there are old sections of West Springfield that will, in order to get it to be done right, you have to do it right from the bottom up, and that's exactly what we're doing and will continue to do.
Thank you very much. We're coming right back to you, Councilor, with the following question. Public safety is a key concern in many communities, and your town has plans to build a new police station at the former Walgreens location on Westfield Street. Do you support this project, and what are your public safety priorities over the next 4 years?
That project is, first it was we needed a new DPW. There was two issues where they chose locations for a new DPW without consulting the residents of those areas, and they came out in numbers and very clearly told him they did not want that. Then it shifted to a new police station. I agree the police station's old. I spent 30 years there. The police station is a place to visit, not to live. You come in, you get your orders, you go on the road. I've heard that the air quality is bad, that there's mold. The police station shares the same basement as the entire town hall. So if that's the case, then the entire town hall has mold and air issues. What's been done to mitigate that? Has anything been done in the affirmative to do it? You're going to bond $50, $60, $70 million for a new police station. I'm saying divert that $70 million, fix the schools first. The police will support that. Their kids go to the schools. Then we'll build a new police station. But first comes the schools with the bonding.
Thank you very much. Mayor Reichelt, same question to you.
Absolutely. And just to clarify the start of that, we were looking for a new DPW yard because they identified the DPW yard as a location for a new station. We realized that wasn't working. 2 public hearings on 2 different sites show that the public wasn't looking for a DPW yard in that area. We shifted, we made some adjustments at the DPW yard. They're good to go, they're not moving. But we did identify the Walgreens in our downtown as a great spot for a new 21st century police station. And we hired a designer through this last budget process to look at, one, can we renovate that location to keep them, and we can do that a heck of a lot cheaper than building a new one, or do we have to build a new one on that site? But I really think we need to make sure that our police have a place that is a 21st century station. We have a majority female shift at some points now, and they don't have a locker room. They don't have showers. They don't have bathroom facilities to use. That's not really doing a good service to the folks that we ask to go out on the streets every day and protect us, to give potentially everything for us. We want to make sure we give back to them. And I don't think it's asking much to, with a new site on the downtown, make sure that everything stays downtown, to give them a new station downtown.
Thank you, Mayor. We have time for one question, but your answers need to be a little bit shorter at about 30 seconds. Coming right back to you, Mayor Reichelt. West Springfield has had to deal with natural disasters in the past, such as the June 1st, 2011 tornado, as well as the risk of flooding. With climate change making natural disasters even more commonplace, what would you do as mayor to ensure the town is best equipped to handle the worst?
Absolutely, and that means continuing to invest in our infrastructure and make sure as we build our budget and we look at what the community needs, we're not needlessly cutting things out, so that when We get a minor windstorm or a microburst. It may seem minor until you have 26 trees down along a main artery in town. Those are our public works employees, our central maintenance staff, other private contractors that are coming in to make sure that we're helped out. So we need to make sure we continue to invest.
Thank you very much. Councilor O'Brien, your question. 30 seconds.
I was a police captain when that storm hit. I was brought in and put in charge of the response. We immediately established a command center. We turned the impacted area into its own reporting zone. After the after-action report that I submitted was completely ignored. We should have things pre-established so that when something happens, the police and fire are able to activate that list of things that they need. We respond very well to emergencies in West Springfield.
Thank you very much, Councilor O'Brien. Thank you to both of you for joining us today. I greatly appreciate your time. Folks, tune in to wwlp.com for more.